Hello folks, and welcome back. It is the end of March 2024 here in Southern Ohio. The bees have come out of winter really looking pretty good. We had a really good maple pollen and nectar flow at the end of February, early March. But the last 10 days turned off quite cool. We're back down into the upper 40s and low 50s during the day and the mid 20s at nighttime. They do get some flight time in every afternoon, and they are collecting purple dead nettle along with some straggling silver maple and a few other things. There's not much else, but there's enough pollen coming in that they're really brooding up at a rapid pace now. They're looking really good. Most of the hives are running about 6 frames of brood. Some of the smaller ones are running 4 frames. I think the biggest one I've seen so far has been around 7 frames of brood, but most of them are in that 5.5 to 6 frames of brood at this point. The bigger ones all have drones and a lot of drone brood. I haven't seen any type of queen cells yet. I really don't expect any queen cells for at least another 2 weeks or so. We're probably another 10 days from the mid-bloom of redbud. Redbud down along the Ohio River shown a little color, but it hasn't really cracked open yet. There's hardly any dandelions yet. For my area, swarm season usually coincides with dandelion bloom and the mid part of redbud bloom. They start getting a tremendous amount of resources in, and for the stronger hives, they know it's time to go. So we're going to stay ahead of them again this year like we usually do, and we're going to give them space when they need it, pull back the bigger ones, take a little bit of brood from them, give them to the nukes, and they're looking good. So I got 3 video clips here that they got a lot of wind noise in them. I do apologize for that. It's been quite windy. When I did this inspection on the 24th, the wind was running about 15 miles an hour. I did have a wind muff on my microphone, but it wasn't near enough for that type of wind. I did want to show 3 distinct colonies, kind of give you an idea where we are here in Southern Ohio. Again, they're looking good. I'm real happy with them. So let's all just take a look. Today we're going to go in and do an inspection. This hive's really booming, but it also needs a new bottom board. The bottom board's pretty rotten on this one corner here. So we're going to go ahead and go in, drop another bottom board next to it, do an inspection, move frames over. We're going to add another box to it. This is actually a resource hive. This is an old queen. This is a 2021 queen. She has done very well for me over the years, but this year she's going to be relegated to strictly being a resource hive. So let's get in there and take a look. These are some really nice bees. They overwintered very well. There's a good population. If I remember right, there's a frame or 2 over here that I didn't like that I'll probably cycle out. I've been giving them some supplement and they have pretty much used it all, looks like. Let's get this feeder shim off. Get in here. These are pretty nice bees typically. Being a little cool and windy might not be very receptive to me being in the box today. So, okay, outer frame is empty. We're just going to shake the bees off of it. I want to cycle this one out. The backside has had no work done to it whatsoever. So we're going to just shake the bees off. I want to replace that frame. box is lightweight, so that's why I've been giving them a lot of supplement. Now, see a few hive beetles in here, but also see a lot of nectar. But I don't like all these hive beetles, so I'm going to set this frame aside temporarily. I'm not going to put all those hive beetles in that box. Temporarily, we're going to set that aside. Bit of weight, a lot of nectar in that one. I've been supplementing them with some protein, protein supplement, patty. And I gave them some sugar bricks earlier this year, but I've given them no liquid. So we're just kind of looking things over. I'm gonna have to put a beetle trap in this one already. Being that they overwinter with a good population, unfortunately the beetles also was able to overwinter with them. The bigger the cluster, the more the beetles that can sneak in the hive and stay right in the cluster all winter. So we're going to go ahead, put that one in. Let's get this wax paper out of the way. I'm anxious to see how much brood we have here. This is March 24th. Okay, again, another open food frame, but there is some larvae all through here. And like I said, I'm going to be looking for the queen to make sure she gets moved over. She's an old queen. She's very dark. And I've had to remark her about 3 different times. They keep getting the paint back off of her. I suspect she might not have any on her at this point. Okay, I don't like that brood being up there in the wind, so let's go ahead and get it moved on down. Oh yeah, good brood frame, look at that. Old Queen's doing a good job. I knew she was because I was already seeing some orientation flights from the graduating young bees, and I'm seeing some fuzzy bees. This side she's got a good patch up high. There's a drone, where we got a drone looks like. A little bit of drone brood. Again, I don't want to hold these up here too much. Just making sure everything looks good. Like I said, as you can tell, these are pretty nice bees. They're pretty well behaved. She's got emerging brood through here, but this has all already been laid up and it's got little tiny larvae in it. I've raised some daughters off of this queen. They've all been really good producers. Some of them had really good temperament, some of them really didn't. Same with this side, all freshly laid up. I would expect about to see her right here in the middle of the brood where there's some fresh eggs and tiny larvae. But she could be down up underneath all these clusters of bees. A lot of old bees in there. They're starting to, older bees have no fuzz left to them, and they just they don't quite look the same, you know. Like I said, they did overwinter with a really good population. There she is. And that's definitely her. Tattered wings. And there's a little speck, just a little tiny speck left on her from the paint from last year, where I had to remark her again. She is, but she is a 2021 queen. So I know that she's in there. I feel a whole lot better now. Occasionally you get one of those queens that wants to run the walls on the hive. Can't stand that. Let's get a little bit of propolis off of there so I can get them frames a little tighter. Wow, another really good brood frame. She's already been back in the middle laying it up. This has all been relaid up again up through here. We got drone brood up across the top. Backside looks good too. Not bad for an old girl. I see a lot of tiny larvae and eggs down in there. Where they're emerging through here, and she's been back through here laying up this little band here. Put this off right there. Another good brood frame. So my plans for this girl, for this queen, is she's past her prime, although you can't really tell it from as much as she's doing already. But she's past her prime. I know that. So I'm going to use her for resources this year. We're going to basically use her to raise brood to give to some of the other hives to pump them up. I got some overwintered nukes that aren't quite as big as I'd like, so she's going to end up donating, you know, frames of brood and things like that. Probably also use her because I like her temperament. I'm going to probably use her to flood the area with drones this year. Go ahead, and then I'm going to get another frame I'm going to put in. So I got a really nice pollen frame here that I'm going to give them. Let's see, we're going to face it to where the pollen's facing away. Seems like I have a lot of people ask about the gloves I wear. I get ones that have a 12-inch cuff on them, and a pretty nice little. These are my favorite ones right here, and 12-inch cuff. I like the steel blue. Yes, the wind's kicking out here. I'm sure the wind is really bad. I've even got a muff on the microphone. But extra large steel blues, just a color, 12-inch. I like them pretty much. They're this brand. Maybe that'll help you. And yeah, I like them. So purple doesn't stick to my hands. I don't have to worry about that. Okay, we're going to get into a couple more hives here. These are coming out of winter really strong. On February 11th, good population. I gave them sugar and pollen sub 311, good population. I just gave them a little bit of sugar. They still had some pollen sub. They're going to be running out of room. It's a single deep. So it's time to give them a good look and give them a box. So again, it's windy. It's only about 50 out here. They're not going to really like this at all. You see they're building a lot of comb up in the feeder shim. I'm going to have to get that off of there before I can do anything. So I'm going to have to smoke them all down. A little bit of drone brood up in there. So this is all drone brood too. So that queen has been up there. So we're going to make sure we get all the bees shook off. I don't want to take a chance of losing her. A lot of young bees here. A lot of fuzzy ones. So, okay. Yeah, this is all drone brood in here. We're going to go ahead and remove that. And these are, see, they really haven't been bringing in a lot of pollen, so they backed off on eating the sub. So, let's see if we can get them forced down here. Get this all scraped off. I got to do a quick inspection. Just make sure they're not thinking about doing anything that I won't like swarm cells. I don't really expect it for about another 10 days or so, maybe 14. But you never know. I don't want to take a chance of killing too many bees by scraping that off there, so try to get them forced out of there. Definitely don't want to take a chance of the queen being there and killing her. So just kind of take it easy there. Yeah, a lot of drone brood. There's bees coming up and just wanting to take care of the open larva, but we're going to go ahead and eliminate that. It shows that it's a healthy colony. You get not only that much bird comb up here, but this has all been laid up with drones. So definitely, they know they've got a lot of resources coming in. They know it's spring. Just doing what they do. I'll actually go through some of that drone brood later. See if there's any mites. I really don't expect much, if any. Well, you always have some, but extremely low population. Otherwise, this hive wouldn't be booming like it is on March 24th. This was a young queen I put in last fall, very late last fall. If you watched any of my videos last year, I did a lot of very, very late requeening last year. There's the old queen. Just as black as she can be, but she mated with a lot of tie-in drones, so that's why you got a lot of yellow in this hive. But yeah, right there's the queen. She's looking real good. Okay, this one has got some emerging bees. I know where my queen is, I can go a little quicker now. Okay, food frame, food frame. Okay. Now she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. She's got 7 frames. They're not full frames. She's staying away from that bottom board where the cold air is. There are 7 frames, but they're not full. They're probably, most of them, as you saw, were half or 3/4. That's still doing pretty good. Again, this is the 24th of March. Okay, Okay, sun's getting kind of low, so I'm going to be in and out of the shadows, looks like. I think this hive's pretty much right where I might want it. It might be a little small going towards the honey flow. Solid brood, this outside frame, but it's a sunny side, so it doesn't surprise me. Nothing against the wall, but they got, you know, got brood. Actually got larvae and eggs all the way out through here. It gives you plenty of room. Matter of fact, talking about the queen, there's my queen. Big old girl. Beautiful looking queen. Look at that. Let's see what we can do here. Hopefully, you can see her. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Solid brood. A lot of emerging bees. Yeah, we're looking good. Sticking pollen and nectar here and there, kind of messing it up on her laying pattern, but that's because they're shoving food in. Okay. Now that one's freshly capped over. Look how bright colored that is. Trying to get out of the sun here. Okay, older capped brood on this side. Yeah, this hive's getting ready to boom. I think it's right on schedule. Our nectar flow doesn't happen for quite a few more weeks. If anything, she could probably use a little boost. Okay. Empty frames over here. Kind of just even this center of the nest up here a little bit. The reason you do that is it allows the queen and the bees to move both directions as they expand. When they're up against a wall, they can only go one direction. Sometimes they don't feel like they have enough room when they really do. Stung there in the wrist. First sting of the year. Okay, let's just go ahead and get these bees put back in. If anything, I might even give her a little boost here in about a week from another one of the bigger colonies. We'll just see how it goes. Now, yep, she's still here. I'll very gently put her back down in there. Okay, I know where they're at. They do not need another box yet. They don't need any more room. They got plenty of room. She'll now expand both directions. I'll be back in this one here in about a week.